This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So, how is everybody?
Good.
Cool, cool. So,
Good, good.
um, I've been talking about a different format. I've got a calendar made. I'm going to make it public, and I'm going to try to start getting once a month or biweekly, some frequency, and try to keep it. Somebody to come on and talk for a little while about something. Whether it be, I don't know if we could ever get Lightburn. Jason's probably too busy. I might could get Adam or somebody to come on. Somebody from Lightburn, or get Jason's a regular on here, but talk about the Roto Boss or just anything. Alicia doing some design stuff, or especially like Chris, you're design centric, right? Loco. Let's introduce Chris real quick for everybody that doesn't know him. Chris Lacazio has officially joined the Thunder team with myself and Chris. So now we have 3 technicians. That doesn't sound like a lot, does it?
Well, that's a
No.
lot when you've been handling it for how long by yourself?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's good. It's good. What makes that so awesome is the machines are so good. We don't have to be, bombarded constantly, with that kind of stuff. So we're able to handle it. It's not beyond our span of control. So that tells you something about the machines. But yeah, yeah, I've been real impressed. So we're moving forward. Chris is good. Loco, since there's 2. And what are we going to call you, Chris? Like Chris? Do we still call you Chris?
Yeah, I'm just Chris. He's Loco.
Chris should be called 3D Print Man.
I got my Mickey Mouse ears on. There we go.
He's always got his 3D printers running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You say that, but look, they're all stopped right now.
As soon as I said that, I looked and I was like, well, that didn't work.
so, but yeah, we were talking earlier about. Well, if anybody has any questions, first of all, or comments, jump in.
Now, is Chris
yeah.
Loco, he's like really good with photography or photos, right?
The photos, the House of Lasers stuff that you see, that's him.
Well, he needs to do a class because that's so much requested. He just needs to do a session on how to do photos and do it one on one of these.
Yeah, and he's got the fibers, and he's doing Lightburn fiber too, so he's good at those too. So
I could do.
Matter of fact, yeah.
The only problem is it's a rabbit hole, And we did that one session and just so much direction, so we figure out a way to reel it in to be really specific about one part of the topic.
I would stay strictly using Lightburn.
Right. And that's fairly, that's
not an outside source.
Yeah, I think that's gotten so straightforward now, at least for me. That should be easy, but like prepping the photos and stuff like that, that's important, but it's not necessary, especially with Lightburn. And Jason's doing a great job of adding more and more features, being able to edit them. So we'll see where he goes with that.
Yep. So, well, awesome. Travis, you have anything to report, man?
Travis has no audio.
I think I do now. Can you hear me?
You do. Holy crap.
Okay, good. Huh?
I said, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
No, not really. Just been insanely stupid busy.
Yeah.
And he's actually sweating in Alaska. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
It's been okay. Yeah, you stand out in my shop with a 500-degree oven running all day. Thought I was going to die yesterday. It was 82 degrees in here. Had all my garage bays open. Huge industrial fans blowing. Couldn't get it to drop below 82.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm at a freezing cool 79 right now. I have my air conditioner running, my little portable air conditioning. But as soon as I open a door, it'll be 88 again.
Yeah. Well, I talked to my HVAC guys to find out what it would, because the front half of our shop where our offices and retail and all that stuff is, that all has AC, but the shop area doesn't. And so I talked to my HVAC guys to find out what it would cost to get AC in there. And yeah, I'm not getting AC.
Yeah,
I already know what it would run. Those rooftops ain't cheap.
Well,
Yeah.
even we were looking at doing a mini split that had 3 outputs on it, and even that was going to be $25,000.
Wow. Put some swamp coolers back there. You don't have anything that'll rust, do you?
Well, that's one of the problems is I'm running into humidity issues. I can't keep my humidity up high enough because we
Oh.
haven't had any rain in over
Well,
a
there
month.
you go. That'd be a perfect. Those they used to use them. They use them, I guess, in greenhouses and stuff. But I've seen them in shops and everywhere. Run
Yep.
the water through the. Yeah, that'll
Well,
give you
it's
some
hot.
humidity.
When
Well,
it's
I've
hot,
got,
you don't want humidity.
He
no,
does.
I need humidity.
I'll give you some.
Yeah, you can have all
send it up
mine.
here and say because I've got a evaporative humidifier that right now is pumping out about 25 gallons of water a day, and
Wow.
I'm only what am I at 26% humidity in my shop.
It's pretty dry.
I'm at like
Nosebleed.
9.
I'd love some humidity right now.
Any day, take it.
All right. Well, when I get the calendar up, I'm going to make it public, and that way we can have a little bit of structure to this thing and add some content and that kind of thing. So that's what we've been working on. I think I can finally start putting the wheels in action. And I don't know if I said that when we were recording, but all of the past episodes of the webinars have been uploaded. Whatever we have, it's there. If it's not there, we forgot to hit record or had technical difficulties. So
Did you remember to trim out the couple that we forgot to stop recording?
I don't think I did. I think I just uploaded them. Most people don't watch them that long anyway.
That's probably good.
So, anywho, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to pop in. Otherwise, I'm going to have to put Grant on the spot.
Speaking of Grant, I actually, Jim and I saw a little preview of your guys' video that you're making.
Of which one?
Of that video that you and Grant were making,
Oh my
or
god.
going to be making.
I don't know if I know what video that is. You talking about when we went to Texas?
Yeah,
Oh, you actually saw it?
I saw a little preview of it.
I don't want to know where this is going. I don't.
How
You
did you?
don't.
How did you get to see it?
I
Hey,
It was
hey,
on-
John, you want to send it down to him really quick? Just send it to Brian.
one of the websites, Brian.
Oh
It
my
is.
Yeah, like Pornhub or something.
Oh, I got you. Awesome. So I am going to put Grant on the spot.
Of course.
The machines having a positive stock, not being on pre order. That's like the first time ever, right?
Pretty much. I mean, since I first started, when I first started, I think the lead times were like 3 weeks or so. Now some of them are getting to people in like 5 to 10 days.
Yeah, and that's good. We need to keep that up.
Oh yeah. We'll blow the competition out of the water if we can get it to them in a week or
What's
two.
competition?
Great question.
I never have been totally, sunk on that word.
In all reality, that's insane. I've had mine a year now, and it took, I think, was 3.5 to 4 months for me to get mine.
Yeah.
And now we're down to how many days did he say? A week?
Yeah.
2
Well,
weeks?
Well, they're doing what they said and keeping their production up and keeping it going. So the more they make, the more I'm sure the more will sell.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 factories now, 2 or 3 factories now, and there's 4 or 5 warehouses here in the U.S. I think there's 4 in California and 1 in New Jersey, and I think they're looking to make or get another one in Florida.
Yeah, we do have ports here, in case you guys were wondering.
Yeah, that's what they're looking at. So Canada's the one that's kind of strange because there's SignMax in one part of it. There's already a Thunder dealer, and then I think Thunder has someone else. I don't know.
I think they're done now. I think SignMax is done. I think they're still selling Thunder lasers, But if you go to Thunder Laser China's website and click on Canada, like you hit the global thing, you can
Hmm.
pick the specific one. If you click on Canada, it'll go to Shannon's website.
Gotcha. So yeah, and they're everywhere. The only thing I wish they would do on the U.S. versions, I think, is take the thumb drive out,
It's either your bobbin's dirty, so it wants to-
because all it's got on it's RD Works. Have you, those things are kind of strange.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good though.
I don't have anything new or good to talk about. I don't think I've already done that.
Could we bring up that 6-cup rotary?
Yeah, let's talk about how hard that
Okay.
would be to be consistent and to use different size cups.
I'll find. Let me see if I can find it. If somebody has the link already, put it up in the thing. We'll get a visual on it. Is it in our chat?
Yeah, we did screenshots from like just Facebook, I think, from the announcements.
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't know if we have
let's
a
talk about
link.
it. Oh, whoa! I just saw it. It'll come back across. So it's a hot dog roller that you can stack 6 cups in. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking that you're taking all of those problems that you always have with those hot dog style rollers and multiplying those problems by 6. That's my take on it.
Yep, that would be my
And-
take too. Unless you're
and-
doing skinny 20 and skinny 30-ounce tumblers, those hot dogs are useless.
Yeah.
And it's
And I think,
$1,200.
and Chris, I think you just stuck a couple bugs together and did 2 or 3 at a time on your Rotoboss, didn't you?
Easy. No.
Oh, we're not supposed to talk about that? Oh, is that your secret? I don't know how to get it back to this thing. Let me see if I can find that link to show a visual.
But yeah,
Am I
so
not
you
supposed to talk about that?
Yeah, probably not. Not yet.
Oh. Yeah, sorry. See?
Now it's gonna be on
Brian,
YouTube.
Brian will be doing some editing. That'll be a clip of 3 minutes.
Yeah, do I need to cut that out?
It's up to you. It's not a big deal. No, the 6-cup
Sorry.
one is just kind of funny. It's $1,200. You got to do 6 setups. The extend space is basically the full length of the cup plus your other graphic or total engraving space. Slippage, a cheap looking stepper motor on it. It's just like
Well,
will it be useful?
they're going to go the route of AP Laser and use gimmicks to sell.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing lately. But
What
the other
they
thing is you
should
got to make sure
do-
that it's perfectly square in the machine too. Like if you're off at the bottom right corner, the top left cup is going to be way off.
No forgiveness. You have to have your graphic absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
It's just a nightmare. At least from the support angle, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, let me load up 6, Yeti cups for $240 and hit the start button.
That should be great.
Oh, yeah, mess all 6 of them up at once at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that part. Oh.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
that's pretty strange.
how many laser users do you think have heat presses as well?
A lot.
Yeah.
Say, because we've been doing testing here, we've got the powder formula figured out. So we're actually going to be starting to sell transfers to transfer images or prints onto wood. And so you'll actually be able to build out your file the way that you want it, upload it into our system, we print it, ship it to you, and when you get it, you can laser align it off of your marks and cut it out however you want. So all the ink that we're using is a water-based ink, so it's flexible. It's not going to crack like UV ink does. It'll stick to just about any type of wood. But yeah, it's been really promising so far. It's quite a few months in the making. We finally got the powder formula exactly where we want for the adhesive, and it's pretty darn rock solid.
Huh.
So we even have it sticking to metal and stuff. Like we were putting it on tumblers and then throwing tumblers through the dishwasher and everything like you're not supposed to, and it's holding up great even on that kind of stuff. So that'll be kind of neat when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Got to wait for my new printer to show up though.
Is Grant
You and your
sleeping?
choice.
Oh, way to go! You woke him up.
So I
I'm
moved
doing some
into
stuff
a
on
new house,
Instagram.
and I can't get my laser into my office.
What's
You
that?
can't.
What?
Yeah. I moved into the new house and can't get the laser into the office.
Even if you take it apart?
I took it apart.
Sawzall.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a white. I don't know. So the way that the doorways line up across the hall from each other, they're not straight across. They're kind of diagonal, and it's just enough that when we get it in there, it kind of wedges in. I can't get it around the corner. You know, even though the doorway is wide enough. You know,
Do you
when
have
we
what
light
size
up,
door?
you know.
What size doorways do you have in your doors? Your bedrooms? Are they
You mean
32s, 34s, or 36s?
32s?
Take the door out, open your wall up, put a 36 in there. You'll never regret it going into your office. That'll
That's
solve your issue.
And that's what I was thinking about doing. My only issue with that is if I do it myself, I gotta relocate the light switch. I've never dealt with that. Is that easy? Is
That's
it all
not going to
goes
be
in a
difficult.
box?
That's not going to be difficult. You're going to cut that. You're going to cut that box out anyways. You're going to take. If anything, you might have to put depending on how you set it up, you might have to put a small junction in the wall to extend the wire out, which I hate seeing you do, but that would be about the only thing you might have to do, but you would not regret going to a 36 door.
And most likely you'll just be able to slide that whole box over, attach it to your beam that's going to support your wall or your door, and you're done.
You might just
Okay.
have to pull the wire back through, re-drill the hole,
Yeah.
depending on how they ran it.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, like if it's run through the header, you might have to pull it out and then drill a hole in the header next to it and drop it back down, you know, or something
And
like that.
You might have to just have a light switch that's a little higher on the wall.
Yeah.
Well,
Slice the wire than what would be needed, depending on which direction the wire came from.
if it is this on the first floor or second floor of the home?
Basement.
Basement? Yeah, then it probably is from the header.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be from the header.
It would
Yeah.
be nice if it's just closer to where it ran from, and then you don't have to worry about it because you're going to mix this wire.
Well, the fuse box is just in the room across the hall, so it.
Oh hell, I
can't be
just run it.
far.
Yeah, that's no big deal then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were being conservative, Jim. I was going to say, like, put a double door in there.
I can do that too.
If we run into the wall, you know, where the outside wouldn't fit.
Load bearing. Yeah.
Heck, for that matter, you could just run a 36, just open it up and don't even put a door back in there and just make a 36.
Well, I thought about doing that, but instead of putting a door, but putting one of those sliding like barn door things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That would absolutely work.
Yeah.
I could
But I
get
can
you
get as wide as possible and then just have that sucker, you know, slide back and forth.
I think you just want to make sure if that's a load bearing wall that you redo your header and do it correctly.
Well, I wouldn't be doing it myself anyways. I'd hire somebody.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that handy. I don't trust myself with something like that.
Well, if
I
you
can
need
show you how
someone
to
to
take-
make the barn door for you, Jim can probably slap one together pretty quick for you.
Yeah.
Barn door. I just go down here to the Amish store and grab one off the barn.
That's cheating.
I thought you were supposed to make stuff like that out of pallets.
No.
Oh God.
Yeah, you do that with pallets. Almost all of our pallets that we get up here are green because they've been sprayed with that insecticide stuff.
One of the things that's
really?
been scary to me.
Incesticide.
Yeah,
You said
Alabama
incesticide.
One of the things that's actually
I've got
been
a
scary.
cold, okay?
One
I
of the
thought that
things
was only in Arkansas, not Alaska.
it happens more in Alaska than you realize.
It's just not reported as much up
Pretty
here.
cold.
They're too far apart. One of the things that actually is sort of alarming is I've seen a few people lasering pallet wood. And the thing is, you don't know where that wood is coming from, where it has been, and what it's been used for. Because some of those skids and stuff do get treated with chemicals that I would not want to burn in being around the fumes.
No,
Yeah. Or what if
they're-
something spilled on them, you know, that was on the crate? Some
That's-
radioactive sludge or, you know, whatever could have leaked out.
Sometimes the rodenticides alone that's on them, and then the pesticides that's alone that they soak them boards in, I wouldn't personally want to laser it.
What about burning in a fire?
I was gonna say, You don't want to be near my house throwing a fire pit.
Yeah, because it's just one of those ones that if you know where the skid came from, it's locally manufactured, and it was a hardwood skid that got locally manufactured for whatever purpose. Yeah, you're okay, but just grabbing X, Y, and Z skid that you don't know where it came from, I personally wouldn't do it. I don't even
Yeah,
like.
the same could be said for fast food, but I still eat fast food. I don't know. Well, somebody ask a laser question.
Well, I tried to touch lasering in wood there for a second, but
Yeah. Let's talk about what Chris is doing in his
I
location.
was gonna say Loco ought to just do a walkthrough of his shop.
Right.
I could do that. Which Chris are we talking to? I heard Loco, and then
Chris Myers has
sorry.
undertaken some refurb and gotten some extra machines in there, playing Tetris with them at a location. He's been having a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, anyone
Let's
want
say
to buy
Brian.
a laser?
There you go.
Anyone what?
Anyone want to buy a used laser? I have one I think I'm going to sell.
I think the shipping would be a little much.
Is it a Thunder?
Nope. I'm
No,
keeping the Thunders. Getting rid of Brand X.
can you boot people out of the program, out of the conversation?
What? I'm keeping my. I've got what, 2 Thunders right now?
Just kidding.
If I sell that one, I'll end up getting a 3rd Thunder.
There you go.
We'll put it on Marketplace. Somebody up there get it.
Put it at the
I'm
auction.
sure.
But as much as you may not ever be able to sell something that's not a Thunder. As much as you say you like Thunder, they probably already know it and be like, well, why are you trying to sell me this thing then?
As long as they haven't seen any of my videos, I should be okay. By the way, I saw you guys were using my video for a sponsored ad. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there with that.
That would be Grant. Grant, what do you
That'd be Grant.
That's Grant. I don't even know if that would totally be Grant. I mean, I think he's
Partially.
sitting on top of all that stuff, but he has people for that. His people handle the marketing stuff, I guess.
My people.
Your people.
Your people can get in touch with my people.
Right?
Wow, you got people. Wow.
So I have
Sorry,
people,
for
and I'm
those
here by myself.
For those of you with little kids and you've seen Sing 2, all I can picture is they've got those little tiny janitors, and that's all I can picture is Grant's people. It's a whole herd of those little tiny mouse janitors or whatever they are.
little minions running around?
Oh wow, I'm struggling this week.
So
I'm
how many
fixing
of
to
you
go.
guys have cut corrugated plastic?
Is that stuff like, what do they call that? You talking about for signs? Yeah.
Yeah, it's for like yard signs, real estate signs,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So here's a
I
little,
haven't tried it.
So I cut a ton of it. So for those of you who need a little extra work, I'd recommend reaching out to your sign companies and offering custom cutting services. And it's not a huge money maker. I charge $3 per sign to cut it out, and I make them. And I've got the 63, so they give me a 4x4 sheet with all the signs already ganged up and send me over the cut file. So it's really fast for me to go in and just line it, or use the print and cut, line it up. I can sit there and do that while I'm doing other stuff, but at $3 a sign, it starts adding up pretty darn quick, and they cut fast too. So
how do you deal with the
those are
differences
quick
where the flutes are? Because you've got those voids and then you've got solid areas you have to go through. How do you find that balance where you're not burning up the hollow parts?
Trial and error. So like on mine, I use a 40 and 60. That's on mine, my 63 130. So 40 speed, 30, or was it 40 speed, 60 power. I use about 20 psi of air, and it cuts beautifully through it. It leaves just enough of a perforation where it melts back together to hold the signs in there, and then as soon as you're off, they just pop right out. So that's the fine balance that I've found, and that's on
with the stock 2-inch lens.
Stock 2-inch lens. Yep. So, and it takes me, I averaged it out between all the different sign sizes and styles I cut out for our local guys. It averages about a minute, 10 seconds per sign to cut it out. So I charge $3 per one.
Mhm.
And, you know, they've got a minimum. They have to bring me 2 4x4 sheets of cutouts as a minimum. So
Cool.
just food for thought for someone who needs a little bit extra work.
In that minimum, how many signs do you produce?
Depends on the size and shape. Typically, we're getting what is it? 8 signs per, either 6 or 8 signs per 4x4.
Okay.
But there's these other ones that we do that are these big round ones, and we can only get 4 of those on a 4x4 sheet.
Right, because rounds, yeah, you lose a lot of weight.
Just make sure that when they do that, they have to have a flatbed printer and print directly to it. Because a lot of sign shops are still printing it onto vinyl, then laying the vinyl on, and if they do that, you can't cut it.
Right.
So just make sure that you're talking to your print shops and make sure that they're using either like the guys that I cut for, they use HP latex flatbeds, and it cuts beautifully. There's hardly any odor at all. I'd rather cut that stuff than plexiglass. I mean, plexiglass stinks.
It does.
Mhm.
So Jim, you got any new projects running?
Stripping.
Isn't that what started the whole Grant and Brian thing earlier?
Stripping wood, he's refinishing wood.
Yes,
I don't know that sounds any better.
Yeah, yeah. I took on a project that for his friends, I probably wouldn't have taken on, but I'm refacing an entire kitchen that was never done right in the first place. So I've taking on 53 kitchen cabinet doors and a complete strip job and redo.
It's a lot of doors.
You gonna like
Yeah.
engrave their name in them or anything?
No.
Put their initials on the doors, their family crest in the center of each one.
The only thing that I've came up with is that there should have to be a law to possess you must acquire a license to possess paint and or a paintbrush. Because I swear to God, this paint is, I don't know, it's past mills. It's 1/8 inch, 3/16 thick, just gobbed on there. And the underneath side, and it's sticking just well enough, it's a pain to get off. And they did not do any prep off of the original cabinet doors at all. So the original finish is still underneath of all that mess. And
Well,
trying
it
to get
will
that
have protected
yummy-
it
Oh God!
once you get there.
All these doors went on a major diet. And then she gobbed the paint in because they're all raised panel doors, and she gobbed the paint in all the edges. And I'm trying to get all that cleaned out of there.
Yep. I'm sure there's a chemical that'll do that.
There is, and I've been high for 3 days, and I got a little tired of being that damn high. I mean, there was one day I had to finally walk out of there. I've caught myself staggering, and I'm like, it's time to leave the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. Wow.
Or it's fall on a table saw or something.
That's the reason why the table saw and everything power-wise is disconnected and they're shoved clear to the back of the shop, so I'm not even tempted. I'm even scared of turning the laser on. Because I don't know where that flash point's at.
Oh yeah, that might not be good. I bought one of those little environment testers, whatever it is, where it reads the atmosphere and looks for volatile organic compounds and various other contaminants and how many parts per million there is if there's smoke or particulates. You could get one of those and monitor your shop.
I probably would have already thrown that thing in the trash with it going off. Because I will guarantee I'm over the limits of all of it.
With the pallets that he's cutting.
Yeah. No, I don't do pallets.
How about photos? So I want to make a plan for doing a photo, one of these. How would you like to attack that?
I would say take a medium quality photo Not a, it's the medium quality, the average photo that most people are going to have.
Let's do a Google image search for something random. Let's make this tough.
There you go.
Well,
And it'll be like when they
I
do
will-
on the cruise ship, everybody just shout out a word and we Google that and he does a photo of it. PG-13 at best.
I was trying to be somewhat easy with it. I didn't want to go to that difficult.
Well,
But
see,
to
we
be
can
honest-
also document it and do kind of like what Jim was talking about. I'm sure we'll make an article about it and include the files that he's using and all of that stuff. We'll set it up proper after he does it.
Because it
But,
would be nice to try to replicate what he does as he does it for. I mean, even
Yeah,
the
no, I
my
like the
weakest
idea of the
point.
spontaneity of doing what that is, and then we can follow that up with doing an image of maybe a dog in the grass, and then one of a picture of a family member that's an actual posed portrait or something.
Or, we could also have everybody like in here submit a photo. That's like one that they've taken or something, and say, here, do this. This is a portrait of my wife or something.
Or why choose? Just make him do all of them.
Logan's
That'll be
sitting
the
there
whole
going,
next
Logan's,
year. Of the,
I'm finding out. Finding out.
Look,
Done.
he's not even gonna show up to any more of these. He's
yeah,
just gonna
I
be
know.
vacant.
We're
I'm
gonna
too
see in a
busy.
minute. It's gonna go offline. He's not gonna answer us anymore.
I'm too busy. Nope, I'm too backlogged.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I have a training. I gotta go.
yeah, let's do that.
No, I mean, honestly, you guys could send any of the photos that your clients send you, and that would be perfect.
I'll put something together where
actually
everybody
do
can
have-
submit something.
I actually do have a similar, fairly easy photo that was actually texted to me, which would be a low res image because it's how people do it. And I would be curious if you could pull it off and how well you could pull it off.
Now that's I think you do it. Yeah,
Oh,
we could also
challenge.
do an inferior image because that does happen.
I mean, typically,
That'd be more of a.
what
But
I
we're
typ-
going after high definition stuff, right? You want to actually do a photorealistic thing.
right. Well, that would be the goal, but that is a challenge of taking the photo of what's on your phone that is a photo of another photo. It's a
Right.
screenshot.
Yeah. Plus anything that you do, no matter what photo you pick, you're not going to have that choice when your client walks up to you with a picture. You're going to either have to use it or not and tell them
Right.
no, so.
And unfortunately, I mean, between shadows and stuff like that, I do tell them, come, you got to find something better. Go to their Facebook page. Go somewhere and find something that's usable.
Mhm.
It's insane. Here, this is
Okay.
the best I could find.
So let's work that up behind the scenes, and I'll add it to that public or what's going to be public calendar of the topics for the Thunder thing, and I'll point everybody, to that direction. I'll have something firmed up on how we're going to accomplish all this stuff.
Bring her over. Bring her over and tell her to say hello, Grant. Did Grant take his headphone off? He did. All right, never mind.
Oh, were you trying to?
Yeah. Bring her
Danny's
over and
got some.
hello.
Been playing with some photos. It looks like.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Jared Davis lives close by, and he picked this off of Facebook, and done it for us of our family.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the little insert where you can shades of colors.
Yeah, it looks. Your video went out on you. All I see is a D.
Oh, sorry about that.
Chris
Can't
Chris
believe
is
you
laughing.
just said that.
There we go. Oh yeah.
He pulled that off of Facebook.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of misconception is somebody thinks they have to have a 3,000 line per inch image to do a high resolution image, and we're realistically talking about 1,000, maybe if that on a stock lens. What, Chris? 300, 400, 500.
Easy. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
So.
you have to have shit aligned though. That's the problem. People don't have it aligned. They're not in focus. They haven't done a ramp test, and they're not running at optimals. If you want to put down every single dot that is capable, then yeah, you got to fine tune that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
that's next level though. You know,
And we have documents or some documentation on doing, the ramp test and dialing in your 2-inch lens and, those kinds of things to help with that. So that would be good to add in this program that we're putting together on this to have those resources too.
Right.
So we've got those available. So.
Yeah, I did a light burn focus test and was surprised that my best focus was like at 4.8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even in the documentation from Thunder China, there is a variance there. They say 6 millimeter, but the actual distance can be 4.5 to 7 or something crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So that kind of brings up one thing. If you purchase the lens elsewhere, there's no guarantee that lens is going to be the same thickness, right? Could be machined a little different, so that could also affect focal length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're buying Cloud Ray or Amazon specials, you need to test that. Don't go for granted that it's a 2-inch lens. You need to figure out exactly where that point.
Yeah, that's true. And the quality of it does matter. You don't have to buy them from us. Ours are good, but you can get them from American Photonics. You can get them from 2.6. Those are the two major ones that I would trust that are U.S. optic. But some of those things are cloudy. I swear they're molten Coke bottles. The first thing I do when we were building those generic Chinese machines is take the optics out and throw them in the trash and buy all new optics. Very first thing. Just like when you buy a computer, you open it up and max the memory out. Very first thing. Same thing. So it doesn't, it's crazy. Our machines are a lot more affordable. They're not like $60,000 to do the same thing. But at the same time, it's an expense that's great enough that why would you want to save $30 on a lens when you're trying to get a machine that is this accurate and precise? It's like buying a Formula One racer and putting Maypops on it, going buying, remanufactured tires and putting on it, or running cheap copier and printers or cheap paper. That was a huge thing. If you're going to spend, I was working on expensive copiers, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 machines. And then you go buy Staples paper, and all kinds of problems happen. But you put some good hammer mill in there, straightens right up. And nobody would ever believe that. I didn't believe it the first time I saw it, that paper could make that much difference. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, and the deep dive, and we can break that up. We can do the down and dirty, go into light burn, change this a little, boom, here you go. But if you want to get to the next level, you need to do this first and this first and this first, and then here's how you dial it in even more. And maybe even go over the HR head, which I need to play with more. And I'd like to get Richard Wills on here one day. That might be one of my slots if I can get him in here to talk about the Beam Buddy, because there's not a lot. That's kind of an obscure optic. We don't even know what the focal lengths are of the lenses. We do know they're different, and we do know if you get them backwards or upside down, you're screwed. You'll never figure out, without a flashlight and figuring out the focal length and all of that stuff, how to ever get that back together right. It's kind of proprietary, and we've got the lenses, but I'd like to know a little more about that. And we are going to make focus feeler gauges, out of 3 millimeter acrylic, because the Chinese HR head ships with this little aluminum feeler gauge, the focus tool. So we're going to start sending out a focus tool, and then we'll also make it available where you can download it and cut one out on some 3 mil acrylic if you want to. Mm-hmm. So, we're doing little stuff like that, and we'll publish that stuff out as we go along.
And even I would probably push people to do the ramp test. And like when I had expensive lasers, I always had to do the ramp test, and then I would be shaving down that little feeler gauge, just so it was accurate. Mm-hmm. So even then, they're just going to have to make sure that it is close enough. If they're doing high quality work, if they're just doing engraving on wood and stuff like that, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if you're doing names on door hangers and stuff like that, you don't probably have to dial it in that tight. So.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
One thing, if you could pass it on to Thunder China's development team, one thing that I would really, really like, I don't even know if it would be possible, So we do on-site work, and we take our little Othor laser out there with us to engrave straight on countertops and stuff, and it takes flipping forever. I would
Mhm.
love like a little 30 to 50 watt CO2 portable unit. Even if,
Let me just give you their email address, because if I tell them that, they're just going to laugh at me.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, like a little 30 watt RF tube on a portable gantry,
Yeah.
that would be
No, it would be neat. It would be neat. That
It'd be the
I
only
don't.
one.
It
What's
would
that?
be, and I'm not saying that they don't have an R&D team that's working on things like that, but they're, you know, well, they talked about it in the last global meeting, for the recap of last year, and
So-
this year they're only going to focus on the Odin and the Novus, and the Aurora, because that's one thing. When you start making weird stuff, you start making lasers with an RF tube and a CO2 tube, or a glass tube, and you start just doing all this weird stuff, multi-cup rollers and things like that. And it's new, it's untested. Your service burden goes up. Everything goes up, and it goes all crazy. It goes sideways fast. That's one reason I like Thunders, because they stick to what they know and what they're good at, and what's been working for 20 years.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but not
You-
saying that nothing like that'll
Travis, you could
happen.
build it yourself.
Have you ever seen one that is a portable gantry with the RF tube?
No,
think
I
you're
haven't
alignment
even
with
seen a
suckers.
DC tube. Other than taking a K40 and cutting the bottom out, or using AP, or something like that. Nothing beyond that.
And-
realm.
and Brian, that brings out a good point. Tong Lee with AP goes after anybody that puts a hole in the bottom of their laser. He is going after you for patent infringement. So
Really?
it is a careful line, and I could swear that it's finally over. His patent has come up, but yeah, I mean, he treats that thing like gold, and he charges you for a red and black machine that has a hole in the bottom for it. I mean, he charged you 70 grand for a $3,000 machine, or sorry, 40 grand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there might be 35 grand in that table. I mean, that contraption is monstrous. It's a monstrosity.
That one?
But
Do you have one?
I have
You're
a
fired.
small. This is a
Oh, I love it.
this is a $10,000. This would be a $10,000 laser.
Yeah. That's like
And-
that one you raffled, isn't it? And that it's
It's exactly the same
maybe
thing.
it's twin. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got a hole in the bottom. It's got a small tube on the backside.
Linear rails.
So how does like Couture and
So-
all those companies get away with it because they're not in a box?
It's a
a cable.
diode laser.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's the problem. Yeah, it's a diode laser. I mean, it's a 10 watt diode. Which
No, I
is,
know, but it doesn't
but-
have a bottom, but it doesn't have a box around it either. So if you got-
No, it's completely open.
Yeah.
right. So if you,
That's so different. I don't think that would hold up in court. That's just some extrusion with a
With
a
L brackets.
with a cat pointer
So
sliding back and forth across it. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all it
Travis.
is, moving so slow.
Yeah, I mean,
What
they
water-
don't even have linear rails on them. I mean, it's V
Right.
wheels.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a stretch.
Yeah.
So what wattage is your diode,
What was that?
Travis? What
It's
wattage
either-
is your diode?
It's either a 10 or a 15. I'm trying to remember because I know that I upgraded it from the stock one. They had a sale running on an upgrade kit, so it's whatever the highest wattage diode, which I think is either like I said, it's either a 10 or a 15.
It used to
But-
be 10. I think they might be at 15 now, but I don't think it's a single
They-
LD.
They've got a
No,
they've got a
and-
20, but it's 20 input. It's not output wattage. Right?
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
where they get you a lot. Like a lot of times you'll see these 20s or even a 15, but its output is really only 10 or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Well, that's
Three.
like
it takes forever. I mean, to do a engraving on a countertop on a slab of granite with that thing, it's 3-4 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's like buying one of those 4,000 watt amplifiers, out of the back of a truck, a little audio amp that you've never heard of before.
Yep. Well, it's 4,000 watts at peak when it goes to blow up.
Yeah. When all the electric is out of the caps and they pop.
Yeah.
Or it's for like a very, very, very short period of time, like fraction of a second. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what a lot of things do. Though we got insane wattage transfer, yeah, for a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel horrible half the time. So I go out to a client's house, someone who's spending the money on doing that. These are usually multi-million-dollar houses. You're going out there with this little rinky-dink thing that you're setting on their counter, like, oh, let's do this.
You got multi-million-dollar houses up there?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I thought it was just huts and igloos.
Yeah, no, real estate's super expensive up here. So like my house is definitely nothing to like balk about. It's just an average run-of-the-mill house, and it's well over $500,000 by itself. And I'm on, was it 0.09 acres?
Good Lord, you're like California pricing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's expensive up here.
You're on how many acres?
0.09.
9/10.
I didn't know that was even possible. I thought everybody owned like 400 acres up there.
No.
That's only when they give it to you to build a house up there, right?
I watch too much TV, too much
That's like
Discovery Channel.
That's like the size of my driveway.
Every single show on Discovery Channel about Alaska is 100% fake. Okay, maybe not. It's like 95% fake.
Yeah.
So, and it's all because, and you won't see a whole lot of them anymore unless they've already built up the empire, like Deadliest Catch and Gold Rush. Those empires are built, so they're still doing those. But Alaska tried to become, they did it as part of our tourist program to show people what Alaska's like. And so they were crediting back any film studio that would come up here to shoot a film. Alaska would credit back 60% of their production costs, as long as they were hiring X percentage of Alaskans to work and all that kind of stuff. And so, that's what caused the huge rush of all these Alaska-based shows is, when the state's paying for 60% of the production cost, I mean, that helps you out a lot, get a jump start on a show.
Now everybody's selling all their crap, moving up there, and then finding out a couple weeks later they got to move to town and get some help.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's kind of like that craze with that deal where you buy the storage contents, sight unseen, storage wars or whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody started going out doing that, and you end up with some Kroger bags and a dead cat.
You sound like you've done this, or this is experience-based, Brian.
Those producers, they load those storage sheds with all kinds of stuff, but it's so fake.
So,
Travis, I think some of the question was, is your lot size 0.9 or 0.09, a tenth of an acre or a hundredth of an acre?
It is 0.09 acres, so it is a hundredth of an acre. So what does that come out to, like, I think like 6,000 square feet for the lot, something like that?
I was gonna say that's only, like I said, the size of my driveway. That's insane.
Yeah. Now you know why I'm always trying to get out of town and go down to my cabin. I've got 13.5 acres on the river down there.
Mackerel. What are you doing here? Oh yeah, you have to pay for it.
I have to pay. See, that's a problem. You get, you start making money, and then all of a sudden, hey, let's buy some toys. Bought a boat, bought a cabin. Now I don't have time to use any of it.
Yeah.
He's got to get electric cabin.
Yeah, we've been working 10 to 12-hour days, 6 days a week lately.
Let me check and make sure. Anybody have any laser questions?
Nope.
Comments? Any of that? Okay. Whew. It's tough for me to get back. This first one that I've actually gotten real, where my head's back in everything, because all of the stuff that went on the past 3 or 4 or 5 episodes. So, yeah. It's like I'm having to get my feet wet all over again.
Well, you was actually really out of your mind because you let me run the show for 2 weeks. That's just insanity.
Trust me, I just didn't have another choice, man. No.
Brian, you guys should do some sort of contest for like the most intricate design or something like that. Like, come up with standards, like it's got to be done on 3mm Baltic birch, or it's got to be done on whatever medium, and then have people just see what they can come up with on their own for a creative
like a homework
design.
Yeah,
Huh?
and then have a
You
show
do
and
it
tell.
like a lens or
Yeah, and have
something.
a show and tell, and sponsored on Facebook and have a show and tell live on here, and it'll be graded live, and give away like a $25 Amazon gift card or something like that.
Have Grant give
Well,
away.
I've got a bunch of 4-inch
35.
lenses. I got to give a few of those away before we spend any more money.
Or something, or just
Service
something like
department's
that.
tight.
Grant can give
Service department's real tight. It's not like sales. Service department don't make money every time they sell a laser. They lose.
Grant could give away a Nova 35. It's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't Grant that did it. That was
I
China
know.
that did it.
I know, but Grant, I didn't even realize Grant was not on here.
I liked the raffle that you did, Loco, on that other AP. That was kind of neat. That generated quite the buzz.
It did, for sure. And it ended up going up to like Maryland to some firefighter that does it part-time and does CNC work. And he still messages me arguing with AP over tech support.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, tell him when that thing finally does go out, he'll be ready for a Nova 24 or something.
A real laser. For
sure. Or it wouldn't be bad just for him to get a Nova series now and have the AP as a backup.
Yeah,
Granted,
that's
you'll never need to
something
use
else.
the AP, but
Yeah, that's something else I want to do is comb through and find some people who I want to compare other people's real experiences with OM Tech, with Boss, with some others. I don't want it to turn into the piddly, thing where it's a pissing contest. That's not what I'm after. You know what I mean? But I would genuinely like to hear what other people's experiences are with the OM techs and stuff, like onboarding. How did the shipping go? How did the salespeople treat you? If you needed something, did you call? Did you have to fill out a ticket? Did you have to, leave a message? How does all of that work? Just to know.
Right.
well,
So
if
that's
you
something else
want
I
to
want to
buy one for me and have it shipped up here, I'll give you all the details on it. Like, yeah, that's a hard no.
Let me give you China's email again. I'm gonna put that in the chat.
Brian, I think that a majority of the first hour trainings that I've been doing are all Glowforge. I would love to take my 63 with a blown Glowforge and see if I can cut that bitch in half.
I still want to see that.
We've talked about that for a couple years now, and I can't find one that's dead that they still don't want an arm and a leg for.
Really?
Probably for
because I've been
parts.
wanting to cut one in half. I've got, I know that it's all ABS plastic and all that, but I've got the exhaust and filter system to handle that kind of stuff, so I'm not too concerned about that.
You
But,
need to
yeah.
lower the bed a little bit and get you like a 6-inch lens or something.
Yeah.
I have a 7-inch lens here.
Holy crap.
Perfect.
What do you have to that? Yeah, but if you go to use it, then you'll be in violation, right? Because you have to cut the bottom of the laser out to use it.
Right. I'll be sued.
What is the distance on a 7-inch head?
No idea.
About
About 7 inches. Yes, but yeah,
But
that's
no,
crazy.
It would be fun to cut a Glowforge in half.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, I have a plasma cutter. I'll do whatever I got to. That'll be a fun little video.
I've got a CNC. My CNC would mill right through that sucker.